Yeah, this is me cleaning all the engine components of the Kia Rio. This is part 2. Look at how dirty those pistons are. The oil rings are almost blocked, if they are not blocked. Look closely, they are clogged. So yeah, this is the first of these pistons I've just cleaned. This is the first attempt to overhaul the engine after the oil pump has failed. On the previous video I showed that. So these I've tried to clean them. This one on my hand, this is how the others looked before I cleaned them. There's your block. Okay, the stage is set. It's at night on that cold weekend, the one that was snowing. Yeah, this was me preparing to assemble the engine. We reused the bearings because they were not bad. The main bearings we reused them. But yeah, here I was explaining that I was not going to proceed with the assembling of the engine because I realized that there were still deposits of that sludge on the block on the oil galleries. So I had to pause there and wait for Tuesday because Monday was a holiday. So took the whole thing to the engineers to get them at least maybe thoroughly cleaned. Yeah, I met Kanda Engineering. They cleaned this is the new cylinder head. There was nothing much there. It was just dust and stuff. No. I think it's the block and stuff. Okay. Back in the boot, going home. Looks better than it was. So the assembly begins. Bought new rings. Okay. Found this site where it had all the torque specs for this engine. Actually, it's a maintenance manual, so it had everything. So that's what I was using. You can see here turning the crank, actually the sub, because also the pistons I can see that they were torqued already there. So yeah, the sub is turning smoothly. Everything is torqued to spec. Okay, we have assembled everything, the sump and everything, the rear main seal, new oil filter. We are ready to go to the car. Okay, we started assembled. Here I've just mated the gearbox, the sub-assembly to the gearbox. The car is an automatic, so there's not much. I also need to mention how light this engine is since it's an aluminum block. So I was doing this alone. Here's my new cylinder head gasket. I don't like using silicone because when I opened the engine there was no silicone between the gasket and the cylinder head and the block, so I don't see why the need of me using it, hence I don't use one. Here I was torquing the cylinder head to specified torque settings as per the manual. Okay, here I did not change the bolts as the manual suggests, the cylinder head bolts. I just took the new bolts that I got from the other engine where I bought the cylinder head. And yeah, when this engine did not pump after first startup, I had to disassemble it. So those cylinder head bolts, when I removed the engine for the second time, they were not as tight as they were when I was disassembling the engine for the first time. So I had to go and buy new cylinder head bolts as per the manufacturer's spec. So here I was assembling the engine for the first time. The cylinder head is torqued, so just trying to lubricate journals before I can put in the cams. So yeah, if you are doing this engine, please buy new cylinder head bolts. They recommend that you use new cylinder head bolts, as those bolts are stretch bolts, so it's once off. Once you torque them, they stretch. Okay, here the engine, I've started the engine. It ran, started smooth, it ran, but yeah, I already felt the noisy signaling the lack of oil or no oil pressure coming to the cylinder head. You can see the engine is running. First I started it with the tappet cover on, so here I had already removed the tappet cover because I could hear that it seems as if the cylinder head is dry. So yeah, there's nothing. The engine ran maybe for about a minute here. It only squirted once, then I switched it off because I wanted to cover the engine. But after starting it for the second time, the oil was not coming, the pump was not pumping the oil. So right now I'm frustrated. Okay, now you can see how this oil pump is designed. That goes into the block. So that one, you see, can you see? It's like a bearing knob. So this shaved the block because that was the initial oil pump that failed. So this is how the mechanism works. This is a new oil pump. So it's slightly shaved the block there where it sits. You can't really tell, but these things are working on very small limits, so they need to seal as much as possible. So yeah, this is the block where I got the cylinder head. Also that block is very good, but you can see it has started shaving it there. So I could not buy this one because as clean as it is, but you can see there that problem was starting on this engine. So I got this old block that was rusted outside. I got this one from Pinoni, and I can see that someone has overhauled this engine with so much silicone that is here. But I was like, I'm taking this one. As rusted as it is, where that oil pump sits, it was in a very good condition. So I'm like, no, this one I'm taking a gamble. See, it's very clean. There's no shaving. That is okay there. Took it to my trusted engineers, Victoria West, Kanda Engineering. So I requested them to check it and also clean it. Left it there overnight. Yeah, these guys are busy. This is a truck cylinder head that is scrap. So yeah, this is a very big engineering shop, and they deal with serious stuff there. Okay, back to our build. This is the cylinder head. This is the block, I mean. Okay, cleaned from what it was. Yeah, so what was left was for me now to hone the cylinders, the bores. The only difference here, if you can see from that, I think this one was the first generation G4LC. The oil squitters here, they are not removable. They are built there. Okay, here the engine is inside. Oh no, I was still removing that now. Yeah, so I had to take the bearings. These are the original bearings. I transferred them. See the oil squitters here, you can remove them. On that block, you see, on the second block that we are going to use, you can't see them. They are there at the bottom. If you look, there's the only difference between these engines. Yeah, now I'm honing that one, that rusty block, for it to be ready to be assembled. There's a bit of information that people don't know. Your cylinders, they are not designed to be smooth. It's a very complex science. You'll see, even see they must have those I would say maybe scratches or lines there. They are saying those are for lubrication. So when the piston goes up, it goes with oil, and then it leaves the oil on those ones so that it does not run dry. So if you take out your pistons and then you found that your block is smooth there, then that's not good. You can take it for rehoning, or you can rehone it yourself. See those lines there, they are meant to be there. You will see on the there are thin lines that are there. These 2 cylinders have been honed. I think this block stayed outside for some time. There's a line where you can see that cylinder 2 and 3 are there. I think they were halfway there, and then it got water, and so yeah. But I was happy, regardless of that line that was showing where that water was stagnant for some time. When I filled with hand, it was smooth enough. See, this is the original cylinder head block. Block. Nothing was done here, but you can see it's still factory. See those lines? They are there. They are naturally there. This is the block that failed, but you see the balls. So those lines that are there, they are visible here. So I was happy with my honing job. It's my first time, but yeah, I was quite happy. Okay, again, I tried to assemble the engine using at first. So here I was checking the clearance, if the rings that we have enough clearance, as you can see there. So the bearing caps of that original block, when I tightened them on the crankshaft at night here, after torquing them, the crankshaft did not turn. I got so frustrated, I just left the engine there. Then in the morning, I remembered that old block came with the caps, so I used them, and everything turned out well. So this is the block that failed. See there at the bottom, it's shaved there. That's where the oil pump sits. See there, those shavings, that's where the damage is. It's very small damage if you look at it, but it has a very big impact on it not pumping. So this is the sub-assemble complete now. Had to go buy cylinder head bolts. So everything was set here. I was just very scared to go start the car here because I did not want to experience another failure after completing the assembly. And then stage is set. First startup, it did start right away, but there was no oil pressure. Fortunately for me, the exhaust manifold was not tight, so I had to switch it off and tighten the exhaust manifold, because already my hard drive is up. Did you listen to that? Hey, I'll get you on one of the track. It's running. Everything is running well. Look at that. There is no oil pressure warning lights. That is tracking. So yeah, we're good to go. Will you just listen to that? Just listen to that. Quiet. sayicini tu ngikhipha ipompo ikhela ngidala amanzi cha. Me and my trust issues. Bye bye.